What is going on, you guys? It's KOLFan93 back here with another video. And today, this is a video that's been requested quite a bit over the last few weeks. This is my top 5 and my bottom 5 replica belts that are currently available on WWE Shop. So, these are just my opinions based on replica belts that I have owned or do currently own. I'm not going to be going over things like the new dual-plated tags or the new dual-plated winged eagle because I don't own them. I haven't seen them in person. I cannot give you an unbiased opinion on that. So we're going to be going over ones that I've already had before and that I currently do have. So these are just my opinions. Come up with your own. Hopefully this can help you decide whether or not you want to get one of these in the future. If not, well, hopefully you at least enjoy the video. So without any further ado, let's get started on the bottom 5 replica belts that are currently available on WWE Shop. Alright, for the bottom 5, coming in at number 5 is the 2013 Scratch Logo WWE Championship. Now this isn't necessarily a horrible belt, it was just improperly designed. It's completely inaccurate from the actual belt that was used on TV. Figures Inc. completely nailed it with the version 2 that they made right after the horrible version 1, but unfortunately that was short-lived and we were stuck with this one. Now I've had this one in the past several times and I can tell you it's nothing short of just lackluster. Not a bad belt, but definitely not the best one and not my favorite. Moving on to number 4, we've got a 3-piece for one. That's right, a 3-piece for one. This is the Winged Eagle. Now, this includes the black strap, the white strap, and the blue strap. And in some cases, this can also include some of the Signature Series. Not necessarily all, but some of the Signature Series Winged Eagles. Now, where to begin with why this Winged Eagle winds up in the bottom 5? Well, let's see. Sidebars, not attached. We've got stitched on snap boxes. Of course, there's always the downside of the WWE logo, and it's just completely inaccurate. They completely knocked it out of the park with this new dual-bladed Winged Eagle that they came out with. I've seen pictures and videos. I cannot wait to get one. Don't know when that's going to be, hopefully soon. But anyway, yeah. Number 4 spot in the bottom 5 goes to all versions of the older Winged Eagle. Moving on to the number 3 spot, we've got the 2mm Big Gold. Now, there have been several versions of this made throughout the years, from Figures Inc. and WCW all the way up to WWE Shop currently. Now this is the one that has the red croc backing, and there was another version of this made that was a cast 4mm version, but you hardly ever see that one anymore. This is specifically the 2mm version. This thing is just, it's not great. The strap is insanely stiff on this thing. The plates are kind of jagged, they're not really glossed over. And of course, you've got the downside of this stiffer metal. You can't curve it. You can't curve it like the older Figures Inc. stuff. But anyway, those are my only gripes about it, so that's why the number 3 spot goes to the 2mm Big Gold. And moving on to the number 2 spot in the bottom 5, we've got the WWE Logo version of the United Kingdom Championship. Now, I had this belt a couple of years ago, and I really enjoyed it at first, but as I got other belts from WWE Shop, checking out quality, I realized this one wasn't so great. The snap box and everything, yeah, it was cool. It wasn't stitched, but it was tooled in and all that stuff. But the strap was just so stiff. It was, you could just hold it, and it was a complete horizontal, just flat. And I hated that about it, and that ruined the whole thing for me. But it was also strange that we still had stitching all the way around everything else. Stitching is an instant kill for me on these newer WWE Shop belts, and it was just a combination of those two things, but that's why the WWE Logo version of the United Kingdom title takes the number 2 spot in the bottom 5. And now coming in at number 1 on my bottom 5 WWE Shop replica titles, a lot of you could probably agree with this one. This is the Network Logo 2014 United States title. This thing is nothing short of a disappointment. The 2mm plates, now we were used to this from Figures Inc., but with what they've been able to produce over the last several years, why not make it better? But anyway, we've got these flat pancake style plates here, impossible to curve for some reason. I mean, you could probably do it with a bulldozer, maybe a track hoe, and throwing it off a cliff. I don't know. I don't recommend you doing that. But yeah, from that to the stitched on snap boxes, the lack of detail on the plates, The paint bubbled up in so many places. There were just so many gripes about this belt, and the inaccuracies with the designs and the strap. Just nothing was right about this thing. Now, it's a cool replica to own just because it's part of history, but I do not recommend it. It just lacks. Anyway, we are going to move on to the top 5. Going into the top 5 best replica belts that are currently available on WWE Shop. Now, this took a lot of judgment for me. I had to really think about this. So we do have some honorable mentions that are going to come up later on. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. So the number 5 spot goes to the 2019, or the current, whatever you want to call it, Oval Intercontinental title. I got one right over here to my right. Now, this thing there's so many great things I could say about this belt. I mean, aside from the fact that it does have some stitching around the border, this thing is insanely detailed. The gems on this thing, even though they're simulated, they look immaculate. The paint, superb. The attention to detail on this thing, they did not skip over anything. And I hardly have anything negative that I can say about this thing aside from the stitching. Everything is amazing with this. The snap boxes are stamped in. It's just a wonderful replica to own, so definitely worthy of being in the top 5 best replica belts currently available on WWE Shop. Alright, now coming in at number 4 on the top 5 WWE Shop replica belts is the classic Intercontinental title on the yellow strap. Specifically the yellow strap. Now, I owned this before and I wound up trading it a long time ago. Now this thing was freaking sweet. Right out of the box, the strap was just incredibly flexible. The snap boxes were stamped in, just very great detail. The plates were immaculate. Aside from being a fingerprint magnet, so many great things about this belt. I loved seeing it up on my display. It was a fantastic belt to carry around at shows. Absolutely loved this thing while I had it and can't wait to get another one. So, the yellow Intercontinental Classic title coming in at number 4 on the top 5. Alright, coming in at number 3, we've got the purple strap WWE Logo Cruiserweight Replica belt. This thing was freaking awesome. I had this for a couple years and I wound up selling it. Really regret it. Probably get another one down the road. The strap, incredibly flexible. One of the most flexible straps, if not the most flexible strap of all time from WWE Shop. They completely nailed it. Absolutely nothing negative I can say about this. I didn't even care that it had the stitching around it. Just the inaccuracies with the silver tip after they changed the design. And of course, some people wish that we could have got the purple swoosh under the logo, but who's going to really gripe about it? I enjoyed having the orange. I thought it was a pretty cool contrast. But anyway, yeah, the purple strap WWE Logo Cruiserweight title coming in at number 3. Alright, now we're moving into the number 2 spot, and this one is going to go to the 2020 WWE United States title. This is one of the most detailed replica belts I've ever seen. One of the most accurate to the TV belt that I've ever seen in person. I really wish I hadn't gotten rid of mine, but sometimes you got to do things in life, and well, I'll wind up getting another one, I'm sure. But anyway, this thing was freaking sweet. Not a stitch inside on this belt. Details stamped right into the strap. The paint work was amazing. The 3D plates with the waving of the flags and the eagle jutting out. All the details and the feathers. Everything about this belt just screamed detail, and WWE Shop really hit the nail right on the head with this one. So the number 2 spot definitely deserved to go to that United States title from 2020. Alright, now before we get into the number 1 spot, we have got some honorable mentions coming in here. The first honorable mention is going to be going to the new WWE Shop Undisputed version 2. I had this thing for quite a while and I wound up selling it a few months back. This thing was a monster. It was one of the biggest replica belts I've ever owned, if not the biggest I've ever owned. 6mm plates. This thing weighed a freaking ton, not literally. The curve on that main plate was insane. The only gripe I had about it is that the strap was very stiff, and it was such a big belt it was very hard to display. Even though I have some good amount of space on my shelves, it was really hard to display. Next honorable mention goes to the black strap classic Intercontinental title. Just like the yellow strap, the plates on this thing are insanely detailed. The attention to detail was just spot on. Everything was amazing. The strap looked great. Stitching was kind of a bummer. Snap boxes stamped in, but that strap was stiff as hell. I'm telling you, that thing was impossible to break in. Next honorable mention goes to the WWE Shop Hardcore title. Now, I do have that one down here. I don't even know if you can see it in the frame, but this thing is insanely detailed. I love this belt. Each one of these things is handmade, and whenever they say that, they mean the tape that goes on there with the letters. I guess even some of the paintwork comes on there unique. I don't know. But anyway, it's a really cool belt. It's not even close to the original Figures Inc., but it definitely pays a great homage to the original hardcore title that debuted on TV in the Attitude Era. So definitely a belt that you need to have in your collection. And the final honorable mention goes to the Brahma Bull Championship. Now that thing is a monster in its own as well. Just absolutely awesome. I got that as a birthday gift, and it's one of the greatest gifts we've ever had. Huge bull on that main plate. I mean, that thing sticks out. It is 3D all day long. The crystals on this thing, even though they're simulated, look very close to the Swarovski stones, and the detail is just completely on par. It looks just like every prototype picture I ever saw of the Brahma Bull. This belt is awesome. The strap is great. The back of it is like a velvet material. You can't go wrong with this one. You definitely want that in your collection. And finally, we come to the #1 spot in the top 5 replica belts that are on Wweshop right now, and that one goes to none other than the Attitude Era Tag Team title. Now, I am a little bit biased on this one because you guys know I'm a freak for the Attitude Era, but this Attitude Era Tag Team title that they just put out on Wweshop is by far the best replica belt that I have ever owned. Not one negative thing that I can say about this. I don't even care that there's not a WWF logo on it. I mean, for a while they painted the F over on the belt on TV, so who cares? It's pretty much TV accurate in that way. This belt, everything from the strap, the detail, the stamping of the logos, the plates, they're like 5 millimeters on this thing. The eagle is insanely detailed. The paintwork is very crisp on that globe. The red paint on the world just really pops. Like, you guys, this belt is something everybody needs to own. If you do not own this, you need to pick this up. Like, seriously, mark my words, you will not regret it. So the #1 spot on the top 5 replica belts goes to the Attitude Era title. And that is going to do it for the top 5 and the bottom 5 replica belts that are currently on Wweshop. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. Let me know in the comment section what your top 5 and bottom 5 replica belts are. And if you guys have any suggestions of belts that you want to see unboxed or reviewed on this channel, let me know in the comments section. Make sure that you like this video, subscribe, turn on that bell because you want these notifications. Go over to Max Rivera's channel, check out that Over the Shoulder podcast, and hit us up at Belt-Addicts Anonymous on Facebook. We'd love to have you over there, and you'd love to be a part of it. So thanks for watching this, you guys. I'm KOFan93. I'll see you next time.